Hey guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 58 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 27. Welcome to Thursday, which means tonight we've got a live eviction episode. We're going to see the all important blockbuster. There's been some talk about that. We'll cover that this evening. Some blockbuster talk. Then we'll see who heads out the door. As a reminder, it's going to be either Vince or Mickey or Ashley. We'll see what happens with that. And then we'll have an HOH competition, which a few people like Rachel in particular are very interested in winning this week. So it's going to be a fun episode this evening. But we got to talk about what happened yesterday and last night. Again, either Vince or Mickey or Ashley are going to be going home. They're the three on the block. At this point, I think Mickey is the most likely to go home at this point. I think she needs to win the blockbuster in order to stay in the house. If she does win blockbuster, she pulls herself off the block, then the vote could be very close between Vince and Ashley, with Mickey potentially being the tiebreaker in that situation. But in that scenario, I think Vince goes home, and we'll talk about that some more in a second. All right, let's start off with the feeds. We'll start off right maybe a little bit before the episode that was on CBS premiered. We'll start a little bit before that. So late afternoon, we've got Will talking to Morgan and saying that Mickey thinks that she has the votes to stay. There's been a lot of talk from people. We've got a kind of in summary, we've got a grand plan in place. Everyone wants to convince Mickey that she's definitely got the votes to stay. The thinking is if they do that, then she may not try so hard in a blockbuster competition. She may even throw the blockbuster competition. So that's been the thinking. Do that, get Mickey not to win blockbuster so that they can send her home. So that's a lot of the talk, a lot of the conversation. So we're starting off with Will telling Morgan that sure enough, Mickey thinks that she has the votes to stay. Morgan is reporting that Kelly had talked to him about keeping Mickey over Ashley because Mickey promised Kelly she wouldn't put her up. She also promised Kelly that if Kelly was in the final two, she would get Mickey's jury vote if it came down to that in exchange for Kelly not sending Mickey home this week. So yeah, she's reporting that, hey, we're all saying that we're going to vote to save Mickey, but Kelly may actually be planning to do so. I think that Kelly would vote against Ashley in some ways just to spite Rachel. Now, if the whole rest of the house isn't going to do that, maybe she flips, but Kelly has definitely been pushing for the last few days that, hey, maybe it's not such a bad deal to send Ashley out the door and keep Mickey instead. But everyone else is sold on getting Mickey out at this point in time. But Morgan's saying, yeah, Kelly said she may actually, in fact, try to vote out Ashley at this point in time. Morgan is saying that she reminded Kelly that, hey, just because Mickey promised you some things doesn't mean that she's telling the truth. She's promised a lot of things to a lot of people, and a lot of whom have gone home. So just keep that in mind, Kelly. All right, we've got Ava talking to Rachel about this idea of who would be voting against who. Ava is talking about the possibility that Mickey would turn around and vote out Ashley and keep Vince if she does get herself pulled off the block, if she pulls herself off the block. Ava's telling Rachel, saying, if Mickey flips and tries to vote out Ashley, people are going to be upset. A lot of people are going to be upset. And Ava says, I will be coming hard for Mickey at that point in time. I don't think Mickey tonight votes against Ashley just because of this. She has mentioned that there's 4 or 5 people that are going to be very irritated if she does that. And I think Mickey realizes that she'll be burning a lot of bridges if she does vote against Ashley. So, yeah, Ava's worried about it. Rachel's worried about it. Quite a few people are worried about it. I don't think it happens. But if it does, Ava's saying, I am gunning for Mickey. She will be in trouble if by God, she flips and sends Ashley out or even tries to send Ashley out. And they mentioned that it should be pretty obvious if she does vote to save Vince over Ashley. They think they'll be able to tell that she cast that vote. It won't be so secret. All right, Rachel is worried about this situation. She's mentioning to Ava, and Will, I think, is in there at one point. She's mentioning that Mickey had told Morgan that she wanted a final 3 with Morgan and Vince. So maybe she would upset all the rest of the house in order to go forward with Morgan and Vince if it came down to it. But Ava's reminding Rachel, she's saying, yeah, Mickey's got a final 3 with everyone in this house. I'm not sure. We know that she's a liar, so why should this be any different in terms of what she told Morgan, what she told Vince? Ava is promising Rachel that Ashley has Ava's vote no matter what. Rachel, in turn, is talking about, yeah, she appreciates it. She's talking about looking forward. She's upset with Keanu that he's even put Ashley in this situation to begin with. She's saying, I really want to win HOH tonight. If so, Keanu better be careful. Rachel wants to have the power in her hands. And yeah, Keanu put up Vince to teach him a lesson. Rachel may be willing to do the same thing to Keanu. We'll see how Keanu does when the shoe is on the other foot. All right, now she's got to win it first, so we'll see. All right, Morgan is telling Vince that Mickey thinks that she has 5 votes on lock to keep her. She only needs 4, so 5 is just an insurance one as well. So again, confirming that Mickey's feeling very comfortable at this point. Morgan is also saying that Will is going to encourage Ava to also tell Mickey that she has her vote. Yeah, not a chance in the world that Ava would vote to keep Mickey, but Will's going to convince Ava to do that and convince Mickey that is the case. Even Ava will be voting to save Mickey tonight. All right, Vince has been pressuring Lauren. This was a funny conversation. This whole situation with Lauren is very interesting. Vince has been pressuring Lauren to tell Mickey that she has Lauren's vote also, but Lauren just does not want to lie. We've all talked about her being a little indecisive, not really wanting to get anyone upset with her. Well, she also doesn't want to get into the process of lying to try to further her game or anything else. It is Big Brother, but I give her props for thinking that she can play the game without any lying, and she certainly is trying to do so. She does not want to lie, but Vince and a lot of other people are saying, yeah, it may be worth lying in this situation, Lauren. So he's been pressuring Lauren a little bit to say, hey, Mickey, you got my vote. Absolutely, you got my vote. She's been hesitant to do it, but now Lauren and Mickey last night have a conversation. Lauren is saying that she doesn't think that Vince has the votes to stay against Mickey. So in other words, she's not saying I'm voting for you over Mickey, Vince, certainly. She's just saying, I don't think Vince has the votes. I think you're going to stay over Vince, Mickey. She's saying between you and Ashley, Mickey, she says, I see me and Vince and Morgan and you all working together again. And so I'm leaning towards doing what it's going to take to make that happen. In other words, I'm leaning towards giving you my vote and keeping Vince over Ashley. Giving you my vote. I'm leaning towards voting out Ashley and keeping Vince, but she's not saying she will. She just says I'm leaning that way so that you and I and Morgan Vince can all work together again. Mickey says, I thank you for the support. I appreciate it, Lauren. She does say, I just want to make very sure of the votes that I have before I go into the Blockbuster competition this evening. Mickey is saying that if she votes against Ashley, it could cause problems with Will and Ava and Rachel and a few other people. But she's saying, I realize if I vote out Ashley, it's going to get people very upset with me. And so she says, because of that, if I know I've got the votes to survive, wouldn't it make more sense for me maybe to not win the Blockbuster so that I don't have to vote tonight, so that Ashley can head out the door and it doesn't involve me voting whatsoever. So she mentions that. She says, if I know I've got the votes, I may not work so hard at the Blockbuster competition tonight so that I don't have to then be a voter. Is it possible that Mickey would truly not use or not try to win Blockbuster and not try to pull herself off the block because she is so comfortable that she's got the votes and hoping that way she doesn't have to commit to saving Vince, saving Ashley, either one? It's possible. We're going to talk about it some more. I don't think it's going to happen, but it certainly is something that she has been considering, at least talking about with other people. All right, Mickey is saying that against Vince, she has everyone's vote except Kelly, so she's very comfortable if she's up on the block. If Ashley wins the Blockbuster, she's very comfortable being on the block versus Vince when it comes to a vote. She's saying that her goal, again, she's talking to Lauren still at this, she's saying her goal is for her and Vince to stay, that she really wants Ashley to go home. Obviously, she knows Lauren wants Vince to stay, so she's saying, Vince and I need to stay. Ashley needs to go home. That is my goal at this point, Lauren. Mickey is saying that she hopes. Lauren said, yeah, I'm leaning that way. I'm leaning that way. Mickey says, well, I hope you aren't lying to me about this, Mickey, especially when I'm sitting there talking about throwing a blockbuster to help out Vince. I'm trying to help you out here as well by helping Vince. So I hope I'm not getting repaid for that by you lying to me about the way your vote would go. Lauren is saying, look, it's the way I'm leaning. We can talk again later tomorrow. If you want, we can talk in the morning. I'll sleep on it, but that is the way I'm leaning. So again, Lauren was never committed. She never said yes. She just kind of said she's leaning. So she made sure she had some wiggle room built in so she can always back off and not ever say that she lied about the whole situation. All right. Mickey is telling Will a little bit later after this conversation that she thinks that Lauren is the only undecided vote in this house right now. Will is saying that, reassuring Mickey that he's still the same. In other words, he's voting to save Mickey. Yeah, no, you're not, but he's telling Mickey that yeah, nothing's changed with you and me. We're still good. Mickey is saying that she thinks that she's okay vote wise coming up tonight. She says, but even with that, I'm still going to try to win Blockbuster, as you should, Mickey. So she thinks she's good, but just to be certain, I'm still going to try to win Blockbuster at this point. Will is telling her the right things. He's saying, yeah, do that. Go win Blockbuster, pull yourself off, stay in the house for another week. Absolutely do all that, as you should, Mickey. But then he follows it up and reminds her that if you win, Vince is going to be going home and Ashley is going to be staying, which is not what Mickey wants. And Will knows that. So Will's basically saying, yeah, go for it. I get it completely. Pull yourself off the block. But Ashley's going to stay if you do, and Vince is going to go home. Just saying, Mickey. So yeah, we'll play in the game a little bit as well here. All right, we've got Vince and Lauren are talking to each other. Vince is following up with Lauren's conversation with Mickey. Vince is saying that he and Kelly and Morgan have all told Mickey that they'll vote to save her. He said, we've all told him, Lauren, you're not the only one we're asking to do this. We've all told her we're going to save her. Vince says, I know you're nervous about lying. That's not really something that you want to do. So he's saying, what if you did this? What if you tell Mickey that she's got your vote, and then because you don't want to be lying and all that, I get it. Go ahead and vote. Go ahead and vote to save Mickey. We should be fine anyway. So you won't be lying. You're going to vote to save Mickey. And then when it's done, we'll blame that vote on Kelly so that Kelly will be a bigger target, because then everyone's going to think that Kelly voted out Ashley. And so, yeah, we get two birds with one stone, so to speak, Lauren. You can tell her that you're voting for her. You won't be lying. And then we'll just blame it on Kelly when we get done, and everything will work out fine. So yeah, Vince has got this figured out. He thinks, at least. So he's telling her that. He's saying that they'll blame the vote against Ashley on Kelly to make Kelly bigger target. I mentioned that. Vince is also now saying that Ashley and Rachel, just if you need a little more incentive, Lauren, he says Ashley and Rachel are both coming after you. So they should maybe go ahead and flip the vote. Oh, he's saying they're both coming after you. So there could even be something to be said, Lauren, to go ahead and flip. Not just you, I'm saying go ahead and vote to save Mickey. There could be something to be said for all of us flipping, saving Mickey and sending Ashley out the door, because Ashley and Rachel are going to be coming for you, Lauren. So not just we encouraging you to vote to save Mickey, but I'm actually saying there could be some actual incentive, some reasons that you would want to for your game as well. So he's throwing that out there for Lauren to consider also. So he's talking about that. Now remember, Kelly has said the same thing, that she would potentially like to save Mickey over Ashley. Now we've got Vince saying this to Lauren, and Vince at one point just says, hey, whatever, go, if you want to do it, go ahead, and maybe let's just do it. We'll go ahead and flip it. We'll send Ashley out the door instead. So again, Kelly has suggested this. He's told Lauren to go ahead and vote to save Mickey. Now he's saying, yeah, maybe Morgan and I could do it as well. And we've got Vince, Will, who at one point had said that maybe he would want to do a sympathy vote for Mickey just so she wasn't 0 for 7 tonight. So could you end up with Mickey staying, Ashley going home, somewhat on purpose, but maybe a little bit because one or two people didn't think that was actually going to be the outcome based on how people change your votes at the last minute? It could be possible. We shall see. We'll find out. How ironic would it be if you ended up having Will or someone casting a vote against Ashley and then saying, "Oh no, 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 wait," and replicating what we saw a few weeks ago. Don't think it'll happen, but just something to think about. But yeah, there is some undertones that maybe we could send Ashley home because she is a little too powerful here next to Rachel. We'll find. I don't think it goes anywhere, but we'll find out. All right, I'm not sure that Vince is completely serious about this idea. He threw it out there, but I think he's just seeing what sticks, and it may just be a way to make Lauren feel like she's not an outlier, that she's not the only one casting the vote, that if everyone else does it, then she's going to be on the right side of the house no matter what. So I think that's more the incentive than Vince seriously considering that situation. But in this house, who knows? We won't know until tonight. All right, eventually Vince says that he's going to tell Michie, says, I'll do it. I know you don't want to tell Vicky anything that's not true. He says, I will tell Michie that you're voting to save her, but that you didn't want to commit to Michie because you're worried about Ashley. You know, what if Ashley finds out, things like that. So I'll tell her that, yeah, she definitely has your vote. You just were a little hesitant to say it out loud because of Ashley in the house and all that. He says, that way you don't have to lie. I'll be doing the lying for you. And he says something about, I hope you aren't judging me poorly because I'm willing to lie. And she said, no, I get it. I just don't want to do it myself. He said, all right, that's fine. I'll do it. Vince doesn't have any problem lying, right? No, none at all. And I don't fault him for it. It's part of Big Brother. All right, Lauren is saying that she's just trying to be honest in this game, which is a fantastic character trait. In the game of Big Brother, a little tougher to play the game when you do that. But hey, if it works for you, go for it. All right, we've got Michie and Will talk. We'll see if that lasts to the end of the season. We've got Michie and Will talking. Michie is saying that Keanu has to go. He's not on block this week. He's obviously HOH, but at some point after this, he has got to go. Michie is very irritated, to put it lightly, that she got put up on the block by Keanu. I think she mentioned on the show last night, she's mentioned it multiple times, that I'm not forgetting. I am not forgetting at all. So now Michie's saying Keanu absolutely has to go. She's also saying that Keanu and Vince have made up. She said, I know Keanu put up Vince and they had all their words and all that. She said, but they're working together now again. They've made up. They're on good terms and they aren't going after each other the way they were. And that seems to surprise Will just a little bit, or at least he's acting shocked for Mickey's sake. But yeah, she's saying, no, those two are working together. We got to get Keanu out. He doesn't have a lot of in it. He's working with a lot of people in his house right now. All right, we had Into the Have-Nots, not just for this week, I think for the season. I can't picture this going over into the jury phase. So we had Have-Nots finally ended. Ava, Vince, and Lauren are celebrating with plenty of food, mac and cheese and pizza and all the stuff that you would normally expect. I think Rachel and Morgan spent quite a while cooking up meals, getting ready for this. So they're all celebrating. Lord, these three didn't have the best time. Ava was not feeling well at all towards the end with the slop. We know how much Vince has been complaining. I don't think that has to do just with the slop. That's just Vince. But certainly didn't help his situation any. Lauren of the three actually seemed to handle the slop better than the other two. But end of Have-Nots. They are now celebrating. Very excited. And I think we're probably done with the season itself as far as Have-Nots go. It could change, but I don't think so. All right, we got Michie and Ashley. Just talking about past blockbuster competition, figuring out what kind of competition it could be tonight. Is it going to be physical? Is it going to be mental? Is it going to be puzzles? Who knows? We'll see a teaser from Julie Chen here before too long today, and I'm curious to see what it is going to be. But they're talking about what it could be and how it's going to work. Ashley is asking Michie if she even wants to win the blockbuster tonight, and Mickey's response is, hell yeah, I want to win it, as any other sane person would respond. But Ashley's asking a question. Ashley's saying, why would you want to win it tonight? Mickey said, well, I don't want to be on the block. I want to pull myself off the block. That's why I want to win it, Ashley. Later, Ashley tells Morgan about this, says, hey, look, I don't know what the truth is about Mickey, whether she's going to play hard or not on this blockbuster comp, but she just told me that she wants to win it and she wants to come off the block. So, we're trying all this, but I just don't know if it's working or not. Morgan later passes this information on to Vince that Mickey might actually be gunning for the blockbuster. And Vince says, well, I guess I'll just have to win the blockbuster then. Well, that's what you should be aiming for, no matter what Mickey and her decision is right now, Vince. But he said, all right, well, that just means I need to win the blockbuster. I agree. All right, personally, here's the thing. Is she going to throw the comp or not tonight? I don't think Mickey does. I think that Mickey's competitiveness wins out in the end. She's going to try to win the blockbuster. She just, even when she won it last time, and she stood there looking after she rolled her ball, and Riley and was it Morgan, and they're sitting there, all nervous and all that. I just think Mickey likes winning enough that she's not going to throw this blockbuster competition. But she's setting herself up so that if she doesn't win, if she guns for it and she still doesn't win, then she's probably planning, if she's still in the house, probably then planning on telling Vince or Ashley that she threw it on their behalf so they could stay. Whichever person gets voted out, whatever. It's before jury management or before jury. Whoever's left, I'm sure Mickey's going to say, hey, I could have won it, but I wanted to let you have it. I knew it was important and I could survive the vote. So I think a lot of what Mickey's doing, talking about potentially throwing it and everything, is just a bit. It's just a little bit of an act for everyone's benefit so that she can then potentially argue that that was her plan and she did it. So to cover herself if she doesn't win Blockbuster. But I think she's going for it. I absolutely do. And if not, she's going to have some huge regrets. Well, when she talks to Julie just an hour later after the Blockbuster comp. All right, we've got Vince talking to Mickey, telling Mickey that Lauren is probably 50-50 on her vote. But then he tells her right after that Lauren is absolutely voting to save Mickey. And I think he was referring against Ashley. That, yeah, if it's you and Ashley, if I pull myself off the Blockbuster, Lauren will be voting to save you, Mickey. You don't have to worry about that. Mickey keeps saying, well, that's good, but I'll check with Lauren in the morning. Oh, she's voting with you. All right, well, I'll check in the morning. She's with you. Yeah, I'll check in the morning. So she definitely wants to hear it from Lauren herself and not just take Vince at his word that Lauren has said that she's going to vote to save Mickey. All right, we've got several of the house guests talking about what their zings from Zingbot could be. I knew as soon as they knew they're in jury, that's going to be the next topic of conversation. When is Zingbot? When's he going to be there? I've just got to stay in his house until Zingbot. What's my zing going to be? We've got a 2-hour episode next Thursday, and we assume it's the double eviction, and I think it is. But Lord, you can have a Zingbot, and you can have 2 hours worth of content, and only focus on a couple of these house guests. There's a lot of things that Zingbot can zing people on this month, or this season. So we'll see. But they all want to talk about what they think Zingbot could be. Target rich environment there. All right, we've got Will talking to Morgan and Ava, and Will saying that Mickey is way overconfident, which is what they want. Will thinks that if Mickey wins the Blockbuster, that she will go ahead and vote to save Ashley. He doesn't think that she's going to flip on him because she knows the repercussions of that, and I agree with Will on that. Ashley is saying that she told Mickey that if Mickey doesn't save Ashley, she'll have 3 people coming for her. I think Ava was in there, and Ava said, yeah, did you really say that? Yeah, I said that. I think that, yeah, you got to be careful on that. Sometimes you kind of threaten people like that and it can backfire. But in this situation, I think Mickey is listening to that, and it will hit home with her. Ava's worried that Mickey could win the Blockbuster and then flip and save Vince afterwards. So Will doesn't think that's going to happen. Ava not so certain about it, and Ava's ready to come after her if she flips like that. All right. Meanwhile, that's going on. We've also got Morgan and Lauren and Vince, and then I think later Ashley came in as well, and they're all talking. Morgan thinks that Rachel might be the only one that will actually vote to save Mickey over Vince. If it came down to a vote between those two, that everyone else is going to be sending Mickey out the door, and I do agree with that. So yeah, Rachel could be all by herself on that particular vote. Mickey is thinking that, or Ashley, I think, is saying that Mickey has promised votes to way too many people, and that is why she might actually throw the Blockbuster comp, just because she's going to be, someone's going to accuse her of lying about some promises she made otherwise. Now, here's the thing. Whoever she doesn't vote to say, if she wins Blockbuster, pulls herself off, she has promised votes to a lot of people. Whoever goes home, whatever. They're not on jury, so is there really a repercussion about that? But she will have to worry about people that were aligned with that person then being a little upset with her. And so Ashley's thinking, yeah, she's just promised too much to too many people. This is her way out. We saw this a few weeks ago when Vince was saying, oh God, please don't let it come to a tie. Please don't let me have to make another decision on this stuff. I don't want to be the one to make that kind of decision. And Mickey maybe is facing that as well. So Ashley thinks that that's enough reason for her to throw the comp. Morgan is telling Lauren that it's very important that Lauren tells Mickey that she's going to keep her. She says, Mickey's going to be checking in with you at some point tomorrow. She keeps saying she's going to check in. When she does, it is very important for Vince and the whole house that you tell Mickey that she absolutely has your vote. No, you don't want to do it, but it's important that you do it. Ashley is telling Lauren, said, look, the other thing too, try to avoid going on a one-on-one with Mickey. If you're worried about that, just stay with us. Cling to, jump on her back, dude, grab our arms. Make sure that you are never alone with Mickey so you can't have this conversation. So it's going to be interesting watching today to see if Lauren is hiding out somewhere or if she's making sure she's locked in step with someone. Yeah, it could be fun. Now, here's the thing. On Thursdays, you don't have a lot of time for game conversation. We're getting called into the diary room to do the main room to do some practice votes in the morning. You've got lockdown in the afternoon where you're not allowed to talk game. There's not a lot of opportunities on Thursday to have the game talk discussion. So if Lauren really wants to avoid Mickey, then she may be able to do that. Now, here's the thing. If Mickey catches on that Lauren doesn't want to talk to her, that's not going to make Mickey feel like she's got Lauren's vote. So I think as much as Ashley's saying do that, it actually could hurt their cause. She's better off just talking to Mickey, even if it's just saying, I still don't know, or I'm leaning your way, and just leave it at that. But yeah, Ashley's saying, just hang around with us. Don't even talk to her if that's the case. So we've got that. All right, we've got Lauren still worried about the lying. Ava's talking to her. Ava's saying, look, I understand. I don't want to lie either, she says, but I don't feel bad lying to Mickey since Mickey lied to me. She's saying it's okay to lie to a liar in Big Brother. It's okay to lie to an honest person as well in Big Brother. But I get what Ava's saying. Hey, she's already lied to us, so you shouldn't even sweat it, Lauren. It is what it is. Ava is saying as well that she's starting to pitch to maybe save Ashley over Vince. And we know that Ava's not real happy with Vince either. She wants Mickey gone. But if she can't get Mickey gone, then she wants Vince gone. She wants to hold on to Ashley, if at all possible. So she's starting to pitch a little bit to Lauren on that. Ava is saying that, look, if Vince stays in the house, as long as Vince is in here, you're going to be good, Lauren. So even if, say, Morgan was to win an HOH, as long as Vince is here, you'd be good. You're not going up on the block. If Vince went home, who knows, Lauren? But as long as Vince is here, you'd be good with Morgan. You wouldn't be in trouble if she got HOH. And remember, Morgan just won the last veto, so now she, I guess, is being seen as potentially a comp beast. Ava is complaining about Vince. She's saying that he's a good liar, just a smart, good liar. She's saying that Kelly thinks that Vince has turned a new leaf and is suddenly trying to play a different game. And Ava's saying, I don't believe it for a second. He's still lying even at this point in time, Lauren. That's just what Vince does. Ava's telling Lauren that when it comes down to it, Lauren, you're way too good a player to be locked on with Vince, who's lying and burning bridges and doing a lot in this game that doesn't make any sense. And you should be above that, Lauren. In other words, don't feel like you've got to stay too attached to Vince. Now, we've heard Lauren and Vince say they're each other's number ones before. So Ava may be not getting as much traction as she thinks, but she's certainly trying to plant some seeds and create a little bit of suspicion with Lauren as it goes towards Vince. So she's saying, yeah, you're better than he is. You shouldn't even be sticking around with him. Don't feel like you need to at this point in time. Ava's saying as well that, hey, who does Vince want to target? If Vince survived this week, if Vince was to be HOH, who does he want to target? He wants to target Keanu and Kelly. He has said multiple times that he's not going to forget what Keanu did to him. He's going to be coming for vengeance and all that. So Ava's saying Vince wants to go after Keanu and Kelly. And Keanu and Kelly just happen to be probably the two people in this house, Lauren, that would be most likely not to put you on the block if they were to win HOH. He wants to get out the two people that probably are closest to you. So keep that in mind as well, Lauren. And Lauren says, yeah, that bothers me a little bit. So Ava's making some good points here. We'll see how Lauren takes all of this. All right, we've got Morgan and Vince talking about Mickey, that she's starting to get super paranoid, as tends to happen as you get closer and closer to the vote. But they're seeing her being super paranoid. Mickey asked, I think she asked Morgan, said, look, do you and Vince have a final two? Why would anyone think these two house guests have any kind of final two at all? Why would you possibly think that? She's saying, yeah, Mickey's worried that she thinks we may have a final two. and that Mickey at one point had just walked by. Morgan was talking to Ashley, and she says, I was whispering to Ashley, and Mickey walked by, and then she walked back by a time or two, kind of looking at us, giving us a side eye and all that. And Vince is saying, well, yeah, she already came to me and said, hey, what were you and Ashley whispering about? And she's all worried about that. With her getting more paranoid, Vince is saying that he thinks that Mickey's maybe become too paranoid to actually throw the blockbuster comp. That there could be things afoot, that she's just getting nervous about it. But Morgan is still thinking that she might throw it, even if she is a little bit nervous about it. She's again saying that Mickey just absolutely thinks she has the votes. As long as she thinks she has the votes, there's still a possibility. They're talking about Lauren. Vince is saying that Lauren told Mickey that she wanted to work with Mickey and Morgan and Vince and not Keanu and Kelly. So hopefully that's encouraging to Mickey, and Mickey's thinking that even if Lauren won't say it outright, her saying that who she wants to work with is an indication of which way she would want to go. So hopefully Mickey is still thinking she's got the votes, even if she is a little bit nervous. I think Vince is probably a little more correct here, that she's too nervous about it. She's not going to do it at the end of the day. All right, Vince is telling Morgan about Kelly wanting to flip and save Mickey over Ashley, saying, there are some people that actually would prefer to get Ashley out over Morgan. And he says, Kelly mentioned that, and I told Kelly just to come talk to you about it. That would have to be a discussion we had. And Morgan is saying, well, Mickey would lose to anyone in the final two. They didn't really take it any further than that I could hear, but she is kind of pointing out that, Mickey, you could pull her to the very end, I suppose, and whoever does it could win at the end. So there could be all kinds of reasons that you may want to keep Mickey, because so many people in the house are against her right now, and send out Ashley because she is tight with Rachel. So there are reasons that some of these house guests have been talking about. The counterbalance to that, though, is that everyone in this house realizes that everyone else in the house wants Mickey out the door. So if you push too hard, could you risk alienating the rest of the house if they're not completely on board with it? I think it's just talk right now at this point in time. But Mickey, even if she does win Blockbuster and survives this week, she could be our first juror of the season as well. All right, Morgan is giving Vince pointers on winning the Blockbuster competition. Earlier we saw, I think, Kelly talking to was it Ashley, talking about what kind of competitions it was, or I think she's talking to Vince maybe. The fingerprint competition was the one Adrian described. So we have several people that have been trying to get Vince pumped up and ready for this blockbuster that's going to take place tonight. Morgan's giving him pointers. We don't know what the comp is, but she's giving him pointers saying, look, keep your heart rate down. Don't get nervous. Ask questions before they start the competition. Don't ask strategy questions. Just ask questions about the rules of the game. Make sure you completely understand it. As an FYI, when we do a competition like this, normally, even like the live competition, like my battle back where we had to roll the balls, while they were out to commercial, they explained the rules to us and said, you do this, you can't touch this, all the different you can or can't do type rules. And they would say, does everyone understand these completely? And you would say, yes, or I got a question. They do that ahead of time. So once you get there and Julie explains the game and says, do y'all have any questions? Do y'all understand? Well, of course, everyone, yeah, we do. So she's saying, make sure you fully understand the rules before y'all start this competition, and you're going to be perfectly fine. Morgan is pumping him up a little bit by saying, hey, look, if you win this blockbuster, you pull yourself off, you probably get to be the one to vote to, you get to send out Mickey. You tried to do it in week number 4. She almost put you up. Now you get to send Mickey out the door. You just have to win the blockbuster comp, Vince, and then you're good to go. Morgan is saying that Will, at one point she says, Will said that Ava really likes you now, Vince. That, she's really kind of a lot more respect, really likes you at this point. Yeah, no, liar. So untrue. Ava's still a little fed up with Vince, but Morgan again trying to get Vince feeling very confident about his position in the game as he gets ready for this all-important competition. Morgan is saying that next week, their Judges Alliance hopefully will be good, that they probably should bring in Ava. The targets need to be Keanu and Kelly at this point in time. Just as Ava pointed out to Lawrence, sure enough, we need to put up Keanu and Kelly. Morgan's a little bit worried about Lauren. She's saying, look, if Lauren wins HOH, she's going to probably put up at least a few people in the Judges Alliance. Obviously, it won't be you, Vince, but I still feel like she could put up, a Morgan, someone like that. So we got to be a little careful with Lauren if she was to get HOH, because she may not be as tight with as you would like to hope that she would be. So she's worried about that. They finish up the conversation, give each other nice long hugs, also follow up with "I love you, I love you too" to each other as Morgan heads off to bed. So yeah, there you go. Now she's no longer a have not. Vince is no longer a have not. So in the words of the Beach Boys song tonight, for these two, saying goodbye, saying goodnight doesn't mean that they can't stay together. No, indeed. Finally, with neither one of them on slop, Morgan and Vince get to share a bedroom. A bedroom, not a bed, but a bedroom. They're in the attic room. They're sleeping, two beds. They're head to head with each other, feeling on top of the world, getting to sleep and giggle with each other and everything. At one point, I think Kelly or someone walked through and they immediately closed their eyes, acted like they were asleep. For a little while, the lights were on. They spent a little time, not a lot of game talk, a little time talking about what their alliance name should be, and they threw a few out there. Nothing that'll stick. Did that. Eventually, the lights turn off. They're still whispering a little bit, but not enough game talk for the lights to come on or anything else. And with that, lights out about 3:30 or so. Big Brother time. Everyone asleep, including I think Vince and Morgan. Maybe a little whisper here or there, but for the most part, everyone in bed, getting ready for this all important day. So there you have it, guys. So again, the crux of the evening was everyone trying to convince Michie that she's golden, that she's good. She doesn't need the blockbuster competition, with the hopes that she'll then throw it. I don't think she will, but if she feels confident enough, there is a possibility. And if she does, then suddenly Zach walking out with that power will only be about I was going to say the second worst decision of the year. A lot of bad decisions this year. So we'll have to evaluate a little bit more. But certainly, if she does, it's going to be a bad situation for Michie. I don't think she will. And so with that in mind, Michie needs to win the blockbuster to stay alive. If she wins it, then I think Vince is probably in trouble at this point in time. Ashley should be good. But until this evening, who knows? Guys, have a fantastic Thursday. Enjoy the show tonight. I hope we get to watch the HOH on the live feeds afterwards. But whether we do or not, by tomorrow morning, we should know who HOH is. So I will be back at that point in time to give you the update, and then we'll talk about everything that's going to affect going forward for the next week and the rest of the season. So guys, have a great one. I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends.